down.
Or to teach explosives, you know?
Yeah, I
he
don't
was
know.
a whack job. He was French Canadian, came across the border and joined the army. So the blue team's up.
Done blowed up real good.
But he'd get, honest to God, he'd be setting something up, he'd get all glassy eyed and breathing at me. I swear to God.
Big bulge in his cats, you know?
Does sound like fun.
Oh, he
You,
was scary to be around though.
Well, yeah, I would assume.
you recall that time that the two platoons fired on each other, though? Like with just M79s? We were doing a blocking force. And we were going to the blocking force, and across the way, like probably a football field away, is another platoon.
Yeah.
And each saw each other. One fired a 79, ours fired a 79 before we figured out who was who.
Yeah. One of my first operations, the first platoon, and my second platoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was hugging that patty, that dry patty. You gotta be kidding me.
So what was
Gave
one of
me
the
an
fondest?
appreciation for what the VC were seeing, though, because I'll tell you what, platoon of infantry, U.S. infantry, put a lot of firepower down on each.
Yeah.
It's scary being on the receiving end of that.
And then to know in a matter of moments you're going to get the big shit coming in at you too, or the guns or the Hueys.
Crazy
We
stuff.
were in a firefight. You were probably there all night when Begovich had artillery coming in.
All four platoons.
Yeah,
were
I think
engaged,
I think we started.
Was that the one
Yeah,
where
you
we
did.
just
First
went
platoon
online?
Started it, yeah.
We
Then
went
Andy
online
said
more
you
or
were
less?
firing at him.
Oh, I was.
Andy Johnson yelling and said, "Tell him to cease fire." He says, "You're firing at me." You know, Andy, those are green chasers coming at you, brother.
That's when the tracks are out and all that stuff, right?
All four platoons.
And we sort of were
yeah.
just right in one straight line and just mad minute.
I think you were the furthest southeast.
Yeah.
All
When we
right.
first came out,
Yep.
we were in the lead.
Yep.
That was fun. It was fun.
Well, anyway, that.
Well, I mean, this because once it seemed like once we opened up, we didn't get no more tracers. At least I didn't see any.
Well, we
No,
had-
like Doc said, when they saw what was coming in most cases,
They get him
they
out.
were gone.
Yeah.
Well, it ended up that the next morning they pulled us out of there,
Put us on a blocking position.
put us on a blocking force, and they had somebody else come in there and sweep the area where that firefight
recon
had
all
been.
night.
They
We
found
was
a bunch
Rangers.
of bodies
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, but there were times we'd go out the next morning and couldn't find anything. You'd
Yeah.
see drag marks, but no bodies.
No bodies. That was common. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
that
that
happened.
particular
a lot.
operation, though, and I read it in the what was it, the Go Devil, the 3rd Brigade Go Devil newspaper or whatever. Rangers got credit for 61.
Yeah.
They went in and swept that wood line that next day.
And we were on the blocking force, and we'd been up all night, and we're on the tracks, spread out, hot sun, and everybody's asleep. Just- and all of a sudden, somebody spots 2 VC coming across in front of us. Everybody opens up. Nobody hit them. They looked like they were bouncing through there like kangaroos going through.
Begovich was livid. He's screaming.
He's yelling, "Ceasefire! Ceasefire!"
I'm watching a whole damn platoon of infantrymen firing at
Like 2 people and can't hit
Two
them.
can't hit them. Didn't even come close. You know, there was a pair of shit following these guys running across that patty to one line. I'm just laughing. Frank's, I thought he was going to give himself a stroke. Well, we got one. There was actually 3. The one had the heroin. And 6 says, "What is that?" I said, "Oh, it's probably penicillin." I knew what it was, but you know,
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah. I said, "It's probably penicillin." I said, "You can get it back to base camp. We're going back tomorrow, right?" He comes and tells me that you know that was heroin. Yeah, how about that? I didn't know that.
Frank was so straight.
Yeah. was
Well,
a
and
good
then
scout.
Yeah, he was.
Then the time Eddie finally found that hospital,
Oh yeah.
had a female
Yeah.
doctor who trained in France.
And they brought her back, and before they interrogated her, they did a full cavity search, and she had 2 single-edged razor blades tucked in her lips, figuring she was going to get raped. So she was going to make sure that whoever raped her wasn't going to be able to fuck anymore.
Yeah, they
We
took her
did.
to Battalion Aid Station.
Yeah.
Did that again, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what they did. I know they sent a chopper in to get her, and I don't remember what we did with the wounded VC that were in there. I don't recall.
Didn't they go to brigade?
I don't know where they
Usually.
went,
Yeah.
but that
But I remember, I think it was the same day we found the hospital. We had gotten air mobiled in, and we set up just by a river, and I had all my guys set up. I said, I want you to start prepping the wood line. And somebody said to me, but Nixon said that we're not allowed to be in a free fire zone. I said, fuck Nixon. He's not here. So we started to open up, and that's when we started taking fire back. Because the whole place was lit up.
That was out by the testicles of the
I
front
don't,
of
I
that
don't,
area.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't remember that geographically. But what a shit show that was.
That was always an area that I was a little leery of. Everybody
there was always
The Nazis?
every time anybody went in there was
Yeah.
I don't know.
fire.
To me, there was so many places to be nervous about. You know.
Just north of the Benfood base camp. That was a bad area out there too. That old dirt road.
Yeah.
That was bad out there.
Tell
They
me.
were close. They were close.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
After I went back to the field, what was it, a month later, we're going back in there. You were there,
Yep,
and
I
you
was
wrote a story about it.
Yep, I did. Sounds of silence. The fear of silence, excuse me.
That I never heard anything jiggle. We're walking along in front of that wood line, and I know we were being watched, but there was no firing.
You know how noisy a movement of a platoon or multiple platoons of infantry are, right? You could have heard a mouse fart. I've never seen. The only thing you could hear was selector switches coming off safety, and nobody said a word. And we got down around that bend on that dirt road,
Yeah,
and everybody stopped. And it was kind of like, what the hell was that? And then Six tells us later that he knew there was movement in the wood line. He wanted to go down that far end and come back in. Well, hey, brother, you know, I'm feeling like a duck in a shooting gallery here.
You can walk point blank.
well, not getting in there is where I got blown off the track. Yeah, that wasn't a good area.
No, that was a bad area.
Yeah,
You got blown off the tracks here. Tim got hit there, not too far from there.
yeah.
I
he
got
was-
whacked about a click and a half just southwest of there.
A lot of action in that area.
Yep.
And you guys all, did you go home? You went home because of that, right?
Yeah.
He
Well, sorta.
Spent months in the hospital.
I spent from January to August in hospitals.
The Great Lakes Naval.
They didn't pronounce me healthy until August, so that's what, 6 months.
And where were you
8
hit?
months.
Twice in the shoulder, twice in the side, twice in the hand, more or less.
And then what
And-
about you? When you got hit, did they send you home?
No, I came back from
He was back in 3 weeks.
And the
Isn't
The
that
worst
re-
that
isn't
really came out of that
reason
is,
for you to leave or no?
the
Is that a
two
reason
that
for you
hit
to
me in
leave?
the side, one of them hit
It's
a
not
ball there.
getting shot. You still got to
That's right,
stay.
that'd have cost me.
There were guys there that had
And when
You
they
didn't-
tried to explain
you
I mean, it was close to me. I just
automatically
about fucking freaked out. I
go.
I never heard of that in my
Purple
life.
Hearts unless you
They're
were
trying to tell me,
civilian.
well, remember they said,
We had
Loretta Young has
had
one.
5
Who
Purple
gives a
Hearts.
fuck about Loretta
Ernie.
Young, you know?
What was
And they said, well, here's the thing. We don't think you'll have to have it permanently. We think that,
Temporary gloss.
yeah, it would just be temporary. But we won't know until we got to watch how you heal. Fortunately, I healed right. They reconnected me and everything. I haven't had really a problem. Maybe I go faster because I lost probably 2-3 feet of intestine. And here's the
Wait a minute, if you got hit in the shoulder and in the back, why were they doing a cluster?
Because
you're in the side, it came out.
right, yeah, I can actually, you know, I don't know. See it?
Oh, okay.
You're lucky you didn't lose a kidney.
Yeah,
Very lucky.
I lost my gallbladder.
Yeah.
That's it. And then X amount of feet of intestine. But after they closed me up, the standard procedure then is to give you an anti-parasitical medicine. Understandable. And now, at the time they gave it to me, maybe it was June, and it was nice because I was able to get like nights off. I could leave the ward, in other words. So I went home. Every night I went home.
Really?
Yeah, I should say home. I went to my wife's parents' house, and I would stay there with her until like there was a train. I could catch an 11 o'clock train and be back at Great Lakes, and that's where they put me, is Great Lakes, because the whole idea is they want to put you as near to your home
As they can, yeah.
because it's good for your convalescent.
Right, right.
You know, folks can come on anyway. So it was an hour ride. So if I could get there midnight, I could just go check back into the ward and go to sleep. Anyway, one night they're giving me this medicine and everything like that, and I'm home and we're bullshitting and everything, and I just start getting warm, and I look and my hands got this red bumps all over, and now I'm starting to get the chills, and I'm going, what the fuck's going on? I was allergic to it. Well, they didn't know that. I didn't know that. For 2 days, they ran just about every test, including a spinal tap, because they thought they finally diagnosed it as malaria. And so they started giving me more drugs for malaria and everything like that. I was not responding. I was getting worse. And now, you know, my fever wouldn't break. And now I'm getting packed in ice all the time. And I was miserable. And I'm thinking to myself, during all this going on, I don't know what I have. But after being through everything I've been through, I'm going to die from this. Turned out somebody finally went, well, then what's he taking?
Allergic reaction.
And then everyone started went, these are doctors. They're all standing at the foot of my bed. Well, what is he taking? He's taking this. They didn't even check to see if he was maybe allergic to it.
Right.
Oh. So whatever they did, they gave me, and I remember I had made friends. They're Navy, so it's a corpsman, and his name is Spencer. And he and I just became friends, and I don't know why. You know how that works. And he goes, all right, Obes, I got to give you a shot, and I got to give it to you in the ass. I said, I don't care if it's going to make me feel better. And he goes, no problem. He says, the trouble is it's a big wide gauge needle, and it's going to take me probably 2 minutes because it's like a milkshake.
Gamma globulin.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So
It's like syrup.
So I
Yarrow
went.
syrup.
I went. You know, well, whatever. You know, I was. It got to the point where I had like migraines. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was pissing brown, and the odor that came off the urine was like intolerable. I mean, urine has a smell, but this was like way beyond that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I remember him sticking it in my ass. It hurt a little, you know. But by the time, actually, that sticking in my ass was nothing compared to all the shit that I've been through anyway. But he's standing there, and he's just, I'm a quarter through. So how's Lana? That's my wife. Oh, pretty good. I'm about halfway through. We're doing small
How
talk.
long did it take before the gamma globulin
half an hour.
Yeah, it works fast.
It was like, it was almost like I said, I had this severe migraine where I couldn't open my eyes and everything like that. And that's the first thing I could actually just sort of feel like, bloop, oh, gone. And wow. And then all of a sudden the fever just broke. And then I went in, I pissed, and it was like lighter brown, but I mean it was, and I would say within 3 hours, like nothing happened to me at all. You know,
It's so good.
it was amazing. It was amazing how fast it counteracted or whatever.
One of my guys ended up with dengue fever. Did anybody
Oh,
else
yeah.
get dengue fever?
No, I had fever of unknown origin twice. That's what they listed.
That's from drinking the water, the hooch water, isn't it?
I don't know, but they ended up rotating back home.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought they said that, you know how the Mama San Papa San always had the big barrel of water,
Yeah.
and then fall off
Full
the
of
hooches and everything like that.
mosquitoes.
And they said, don't drink that, but you get dingy finger. So I always thought that's what it was
big
from, drinking that water.
It's
pots always had about that much scum of mosquitoes on top.
Yeah.
And they could drink it?
No, we didn't.
No, them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It's sort of like, it's
It's like
it's
get
sort of
used
like
to it.
Mexico.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mexicans can drink the water. We can't, but they can.
yeah.
You know, they
your body
just
adjusts.
sweep a bunch of
Body's
those
amazing.
mosquitoes off.
Oh, it is.
Get a pan of water. We ain't messing with
Yeah, when I got hit here and they left that open for 5 days, they flew me to Cameron, the 6th Convalescent Center. And then they were going to sew me up Cameron. So they stainless steel sutures, you know, they could pull the damn thing together because it was like shutting a football shape.
Yep.
After they debrided everything. Pulled it all together and that hurt like hell because they didn't give the anesthesia time to work. It's local. And about 2 days later, I started getting fever.
Really?
Yeah. And my leg's hot and red. So I told the nurse, I said, this thing's infected. And she looked at it, she said, we'll watch it another day or so. The next day, there's green pus coming out of it. 2 of those stainless steel stitches tore.
Oh.
It was that infected. So they brought me back in, took the
For all the
stitches
swelling
out.
and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debrided it all again, irrigated it, the whole 9 yards. Had me on 3 shots of propane penicillin each day in the ass. My ass was like a pink, but propane is like, it hurts. It's really thick, the syrup. All right. So they said, okay, we got to get this infection cleared up because if not, we're going to have to do something. I said, no, you're not going to do something. You're going to clear it up. Keep jacking me full of penicillin. It took about 2 weeks of my time in Cameron before it cleared up, and then they stitched me back into it. It was a mess. Stink. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Whenever
Green,
an
stinky,
infection
rotten
just...
stuff. And the way it works at the 6th Convalescent Center in Cameron, it worked in the Convalescent Center. They have 1-story hooches. Each one's a ward.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's no medical personnel assigned full-time to it. They come through. All right? So at night, if somebody's having a rough time, you got to go chase down a medic or a nurse or a doctor or somebody. You got to figure out where they're at because there's like 20 of these hooches. And it's right on the beach. It's absolutely close. Except the fact that the NBA blew up 5 or 6 of the wards. Yeah, it's not a bad place.
That's a big tourist destination.
Yeah, it is. Sure is. Well, it should be. The beach is gorgeous.
I remember we had a one-day stand down.
Yeah, you went to Fun Town. That
Yeah,
was
we
the
went-
day after I got shot.
That's
right?
where they
I
said
still
Charlie did
hold
his
that
R&R.
against you guys.
No, it wasn't the day after we.
2 days, okay.
The day after you got shot, we finally came back in. And then the day after that, we got 30 of us got to go to Vung Tau. We rode that.
But I remember, the thing I remember most is this absolutely stunning beach, beautiful water, high cliffs in the back, and we had guys walking up on the top.
Or at Cameron at the 6th Convalescent Center, when I got to the point where I could get up and move around, I'd take the crutches and stumble down the hill to the beach, right? Because there was nothing better than that warm salt water. Of
Yeah.
South,
Well, just
South
smell it
China Sea.
alone too. That
Oh yeah.
That's seawater.
So, and then at night they always had movies, outside movies, right?
right.
I was sitting there watching a movie one night. I'm on crutches, guys are in wheelchairs, canes, the whole 9 yards. Keep coming. I'm going around. I've never seen patients lose crutches, canes,
Yeah,
wheelchairs
yeah.
so freaking fast in my life. Quarters. People were going every which way. I stayed where I was. I said, okay, I'll get down low. I'll figure out where these things are. Then I'll move. I'm not moving first because you might be running into them. Yeah, walking in on you. They landed on the beach on the other side of the.
I was in Great Lakes again now, and I take therapy for my hand. My hand was on a gurney, or what do you call it? What do you call those things? IV pole.
Yeah.
Like this.
Hanging up
It was
like
hanging
this.
like this, like I was on riding a streetcar, you know?
That's the way you were in Third Field Hospital.
Yeah. And it'd been like that. Well, and the thing is now when they're going over what exactly happened to me and all that, the thing that freaked me out about that, besides the colostomy too, and this actually was the initial or the very first thing that freaked me out. I woke up a day and a half later, and I remember waking up, and now I'm taking inventory of myself and everything like that. Oh, I got blood here, and I got that must be saline or something like that. And oh yeah, my hand was fucked up and everything like that. And I had a board, I remember, right here too. But anyway, my thumb was like, and I took the sheet. That's all I had on was a sheet. I was naked, and I went like that, and I had stitches all the way down to my crotch, and I couldn't figure out what this was all about because I hadn't gotten hit there, and I was drugged, and I just started freaking out, and they had to come and give me another shot. They gave me another shot
Calm you down.
and calm me down, and then they explained what that was an exploratory.
Yeah, they had to do that.
That's how they found out what was wrong with me all over the
They
place
have
and
to
everything
do
like
that.
that. But when I was, all right, so anyway, because of my hand, when I got to Great Lakes, and I had that physical therapy because my hand had been up there like that. When they couldn't even tell me how many fingers I lost at the time. They couldn't remember how many fingers I lost.
Didn't all of your muscles atrophy for being up there all the time?
Well, that was the problem. My whole arm, I lost all muscle in my forearm. My shoulder now was just aching from just being like this all the time. And my hand became a claw. I couldn't move my fingers. I mean, I was like this, more or less. Or, well, I was actually like this. So, physical therapy. And that got me going. They wouldn't let me, like, do a dumbbell because they didn't want to hurt my hand too much. So they actually would tape a dumbbell here. And I would have to just do dumbbells like that, which was all right, for my hand, all they did was give me a plastic disc, like an oval disc, to just keep squeezing it. On your free time, squeeze it. And that's what I did. So, but one day we're up there in physical therapy, and I remember they had me on one of those high tables. And in the physical therapy room, you've got probably a dozen guys in there doing all kinds of different therapies. And each guy has an assigned corpsman.
Right.
So they're there, and it was a very gray, rainy, rotten day. And you could look out here, you could see that it was all rainy and shitty like that. Well, a thunderclap. I mean, a big thunderclap. Boom! I rolled over, hit the ground. And then I realized what was going on. So I popped up, and it was like popping up like out of your foxhole or whatever. And I look, and every guy that was on the table was doing the same thing. And the corpsmen were all standing there going,
What is going on?
yeah, they couldn't figure out what, and we all in unison, we all just started laughing. Because we all knew exactly what we were going through right there at that point too. Just things it's funny how things stick out in your mind, you never forget, everything like that. Then in the, when I finally got to Great Lakes, we were supposed to go into what they call this Glenview Naval Air Hospital, which is 5 miles down the road from Great Lakes, but it had snowed very heavily. So they had to bring us into O'Hare, and they brought the Navy buses out, the gurney buses, and they loaded me up, and I'm looking out the window, and that's when they're unloading bodies out of the back. Oh man, was that depressing to see that. It's just like one of those other things I'll never get out of my head too. And then when I got to Great Lakes, because I was an amputee, they put me up in the amputee ward. And I'm looking, and there's guys that are in baskets, and everyone's lost a limb or whatever. And I got this fucking finger. I just felt, you want to feel like about unworthy. I was embarrassed to be up with those guys, And I talked them into putting me on another ward because I just didn't feel worthy of being with these guys. Not that I wanted to get away from this. I just didn't feel like I deserved to be there with them, Just amazing.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that sounds like a
See you
good
guys
idea.
in the
Yeah.
morning.
7:30 in the lobby.
All right.
I'll be there.